Cross River State evaluate challenges of health sector, make projection for 2022. Nigerians in Calabar speak on strategies to cope with January challenges after Yuletide. Plus, Nigerian Television Authority Calabar holds Thanksgiving service to appreciate God as staff rededicate themselves for effective service delivery. Details shortly. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news. I am Udwak Etam, and now the details of the bulletin. As the country strives for a better socio-economic attainment this year, Cross River State is one of the states in Nigeria with the lowest number of COVID-19 cases in 2021 and was swift in checkmating other disease outbreaks such as cholera in Bakassi local government area with assistance from development partners. In this report, a medical expert and the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Beta Edu, evaluate the health sector challenges of the state in 2021 and make projections for 2022. Paul Ebel has details.
With COVID-19 at the center of attraction from 2020 to 2021, massive awareness on the use of non-pharmaceutical protective measures were carried out, as well as success recorded in the area of vaccination with the first and second doses of AstraZeneca and other vaccines. Different campaigns on maternal newborn, malaria prevention, prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS, the state health insurance policy, improvement of primary health care delivery, building of specialist and general hospitals, among others, were also core projects executed.
There have been an improvement on health-seeking behavior of people in 2021 than it were in 2020. And the consciousness of COVID too had increased, like I said.
We are in the middle of a pandemic. We have, of course, different other outbreaks like cholera outbreak and several other challenges, maternal mortality, infant mortality, under-5 mortality, as well as the state health insurance scheme. Furthermore, remember that the government of Cross River State had just approved that doctors be paid 100% comments of what their colleagues are being paid all over the country. So all of this are going to be reflected for the first time.
What should the people be expecting from the health sector as the state and the country moves on this year?
For the year 2022 is the health sector to help Cross Riverians access quality healthcare services across board. So we want to strongly believe that this budget would fund the Cross River State COVID-19 response. This budget will also fund routine care for our people. This budget will fund vaccination. This budget would put special emphasis on care for vulnerables through the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund as well as the State Health Insurance Scheme.
As the saying goes, health is wealth. The people are expecting that health care delivery will be more accessible and affordable in 2022. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
The festive season has come and gone. Now is the time for people to reposition and re-strategize to cope with the aftermath of the season, as often the case in January. A correspondent in this report finds out how people are coping with January.
January marks a new beginning in people's lives, as it comes with much expectations for the year. Although Nigerians are still watchful to see what the remaining days of the month holds for them, even as the COVID-19 pandemic rages. After shopping from clothes to foodstuffs and other items that spiced up the festive season, January seems to be a difficult period and a month that seems too long, even though it has 31 days like some other months in the year. With the resumption of schools across the country, which parents need to pay school fees and care for other needs, January seems to be challenging. But why?
The month of January is always a challenging one, which all of us know about it. As an individual, I knew it, and for me, I planned ahead of it.
I discipline myself not to waste all your life, all your income and all your earnings only in December. Life continues. And as long as there is life, you will always spend.
Others believe effective planning and management of finances will help one cope with January challenges, noting that January must surely show up after the festivities.
There are certain things you expect before time, and you make provision for it. So at the end of the day, nothing is really different. It's a matter of just planning.
The important thing that we should work on it is budget, because the economic crisis, as I can see now, is not only in Nigeria, it's all over the world. But we have to plan our budget. We can reduce some of the things that we know is not necessary, and we concentrate on what we know is necessary, so that we'll be able to meet the need of our children, especially now that school is reopening.
A survey within major markets in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, shows that there is a great improvement as regards the sale of foodstuffs and other commodities, although some perishable items have increased, but a fluctuation in rice, gari, and other items.
Right now it's 200. Even rice, rice 180 a cup, 150 a cup, sand rice. It's too much.
The price of water leaf is too because we always buy it in the bay 1,500, 2,000, but now it's 9,000.
Either way, Nigerians are hopeful that the year will be better. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
The Cross River State Police Command has declared one Miss Dorcas Linus Osaka missing. Dorcas Osaka, whose photograph is on the screen, hails from Baga village in Obanli local government area. Miss Osaka, who resides with One Love in Okorokwo of 13th Brigade Barracks, Nigerian Army, Calabar, is 12 years old, dark in complexion, speaks Otaga and English language fluently. A statement by the State Police Public Relations Officer Irene Upo says Dorcas Osaka left the house on the 25th of December 2021 to unknown destination and has not returned since then. All effort to trace her whereabouts proved abortive. The command hereby appeals to the general public with useful information to report to the nearest police station or call the GSM number 0806-8559-326. At the beginning of every year, it is common to see individuals, organizations, and associations engaged in one form of spiritual exercise or the other to seek the face of God concerning the year. The management and staff of Nta Calabar was not left out of this spiritual exercise by organizing a Thanksgiving service to appreciate God for the year 2021, while hoping for a better year 2022. Nkoyetam was there and now reports.
There's a need for us to thank God for what God has done for us in 2021, and also rededicate NTA Channel 9 Calabar to God in the new year 2022. Exactly what we did. The Solemn Assembly is very, very important, so that we can assess ourselves, look at where we were in 2021, and then assess the current situation, and then do a kind of projection on where we are going in 2022.
Yes, it's just a gratitude. It's just for us to thank God for the past year and hoping for a better 2022. Huge expectation. I have a lot of changing the face of Nta Calabar, making us known to the world.
The acting general manager, Mr. Pius Biti, who gave a word of exhortation from Isaiah 49 verse 15 says, "It is a good thing to give thanks to God."
Nta Calabar has been great before. Praise the Lord. Nta Calabar has come under limelight before. Nta Calabar has come under consideration before. Amen. Amen. But in our times, it looks as if it is not in existence again. The Lord has asked that we should remind ourselves this morning that no matter what happened to this station in 2020, God has not forgotten Nta Calabar.
The spiritual exercise featured prayers of intercession.
Thanksgiving is giving back honor, respect to the one who made us. For the benefit that you've been able to cross from 2021 to 2022, it's worth Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving here simply means application for more blessings from God. I think that caps it all for Nta Calabar staff. To begin with the Lord is the best thing to happen to Nta Calabar staff for a new year.
We have every reason to thank God. Thanking God, seeing the day, seeing yourself alive in good health and mind and body is enough to thank God. Our expectations as believers can never be cut short. And for that, we say thank you.
The management and staff of Nta Calabar are optimistic that the year 2022 will be the best of its kind. In Calabar, Nkoyo Etam, NTA News.
You're still watching Nta Calabar News at 7. You can equally watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NTA Calabar. The news continues after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for being there. And now to the rest of our bulletin. Many communities in Calabar threatened by gully erosion have continued to send a silver soul message to relevant government agencies for intervention at least before the commencement of next rainy season. The Ayoeta and Esowotu communities, all in Calabar municipality, are some of the worst hit communities with gully erosion ravaging the areas. If this situation that is being viewed as a matter of urgency is not checked, may wipe away a greater portion of the communities, while the residents will be rendered homeless and helpless. Maureen Liachon has details of that report.
Many communities in Calabar have continued to groan as gully erosion ravages their residents. Gully erosion at Ayoeta community in Ikot Ansa, Calabar is so disturbing that the residents no longer sleep with their two eyes closed.
The situation here is, I don't even know what to say. I'm just begging the government to help me because I cannot sleep with my eyes closed anytime that I hear rain falling. It's only this time that we have this dry season that I just breathe. But whenever rain falls, I don't sleep with my eyes.
This environment when we are here is so bad with the children. You know, there is a school. During the rainy season, children cannot pass.
According to the residents, the path was a major road linking the area to other parts of the community. Erosion started gradually and now has taken a chunk of their land, including some residential houses. Due to the impact of the expanding erosion, the community undertook some intervention measures. But the pressure of the water running through the erosion site will always lead to a failed attempt.
Like New Map, they have come here before, they surveyed this place, they told us that they have made the design, and they gave us all assurance. But certainly they came and said they have a serious challenge where they are facing more challenges than us, and they left.
This started in 2000, and look at what has happened to us in less than 11 years. Government should channel revenue. If you live here and go across Parliamentary Station, now behind you the king, you see another ravine there. It has started developing now. The government should please channel the ecological fund that is released to states and federal into these rules, into these ravines, and try to help us. Now, if this is done, another one in Esowotu, like you've mentioned, the one I've told you is across behind you the king here, that's already developing. If those things are done, the roads are constructed, what we need here, fill this place for us, do the gutter for us. It will help us.
There was a time we taxed ourselves 60,000 naira each. We filled this with a lot of laterite and made it up with concrete. But only the first rain, the whole effort was washed away.
Efforts to reach the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project New Map, who is saddled with this responsibility, have always been unsuccessful. The people are, however, hopeful that The federal and state ministries of environment, whom they have made efforts to reach, will consider addressing the situation at least before the commencement of the next rainy season. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
The peak of festivities associated with the Yuletide are over, and cities are gradually settling in for normal business activities. Be that as it may, there are concerns of getting such areas where festivities were heightened to be clean and healthy enough for humans. Just as experts say, the duty of maintaining a clean environment should not be compromised. Charity James in this report seeks to ascertain the state of cleanliness of Akwa Ibom State after the Yuletide, which attracted a great influx of visitors. The report.
Akwa Ibom was last month announced as the cleanest state in Nigeria after carrying out a Cleanliness Performance Index rating of all states of the Federation. It may not be out of place, therefore, to say that cleanliness is part of the Akwa Ibom culture, as a drive round Uyo, the state capital, shows the state is clean and green, even after the Yuletide, when one will expect to see heaps of refuse due to a series of festivities which might have taken place. This situation some people describe as commendable, saying it enhances the health and aesthetics of the state.
It's clean enough after Christmas and New Year.
So far, my experience, I came to Uyo to do my master's degree at Uyo. Uyo is a very clean state, and I'm proud of my state of origin.
Despite the season we've just passed, the Yuletide season, people were drinking. If you go to the market where you're supposed to see dates and all those things, the people who are in charge of cleaning, taking those refugees, disposing them, they are doing a great job, and I give it to them.
Over the years, the state government has been enforcing the monthly sanitation exercise. That also helps to inculcate or reinforce the habits of hygiene in the people. People like hygiene, like clean environment, and so that natural habit becomes a reflex action among the people that they burn their refuse during the period. So I honestly speaking, I'm not surprised.
Staff of the agency responsible for waste management and cleaning of the state were seen doing their job in few areas where refuse was seen.
There are some people who have attitude of throwing those waste anyhow, and there are containers in those places. People should know where the government says they should dump their refugees.
January to January, so there is no time that you rest. You just do this work so that Uyo will be clean. So if government can provide something like task force for us.
People should continue with the habits of keeping the environment clean, because a clean environment also engenders healthy environment.
Environmental experts say there is need for all to know that the job of keeping the environment clean is not just that of the government.
A major gain for Nigeria in the environment sector is the development of a national strategy to combat illegal wildlife and forest crimes. Onengie Fine-Face reports on how this strategy will protect the flora and fauna of Nigeria's forest ecosystems.
Alarming rates of deforestation, overexploitation of wildlife and forest resources, as well as wildlife trafficking, threatens Nigeria's efforts at promoting sustainable use of its biological diversity. Wildlife and forest crimes, the Federal Ministry of Environment reports, are responsible for the threatened species like ostrich, chimpanzee, gorilla, and pangolin, while some have gone extinct, including rhinoceros, giraffe, pygmy hippopotamus, and giant eland.
So in Nigeria, for example, we have seen from seizures of about 2 tons of pangolin scales in 2012-2013 to about more than 50 tons just in recent years. So we have seen an incredible increase in wildlife trafficking over a relatively short time. Similar statistics exist for example, for ivory trade, despite the fact that Nigeria is no longer home for a significant large population of elephants.
Wildlife and forest crimes are also said to be responsible for increasing zoonotic diseases and negatively impacting the socio-economic life of communities depending on forest resources for their livelihoods. The national strategy to combat illegal wildlife and forest crimes will facilitate the implementation of policies aimed at combating deforestation, desertification, and land degradation.
It ought to be a crime for us to be overexploiting our wildlife and driving it into extinction. So this policy will be a guiding framework for us to implement the strategy plan on how to end illegal wildlife trade. For us to end illegal wildlife trade, we find alternative for our people in the villages.
The strategy is developed with support from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes and the government of Germany. Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
The federal government has declared Yantada and other similar groups in Nigeria to be terrorists and illegal in the country. The federal government's proscription of Yantada as a terrorist group in the northwest and north-central regions of the country is in pursuance to Section 1 and 2 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011. In a statement by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, the Terrorism Prevention Proscription Order Notice 2021 has been gazetted, and so the public is hereby warned that any person or group of persons participating in any manner whatsoever in any form of activities involving or concerning the prescription of the collective intentions or otherwise of the groups will be violating the provisions of the Terrorism Act 2021 and liable to prosecution. That wraps up our package for this evening, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. Stakeholders in Cross River State have highlighted challenges of health sector and made projections for 2022. Nigerians in Calabar have spoken on strategies to cope with January challenges after Yuletide. You also heard in the news that the management and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, Nta Calabar, have held a Thanksgiving service to appreciate God and rededicated themselves for effective service delivery. That is it on our news. Thanks for watching. Good night.